We're back inside American Airlines Center as we get set for the 71st all-time meeting between these two teams, first of two. Golden Corral will deliver the starting goaltenders tonight. Anton Khudobin makes his 21st appearance of the season, looking to continue those sterling numbers. Kari Lehtinen, fresh off the Olympics. He was 1-1 in the tournament. It is his 49th appearance of the season.
And Khudobin clearly needs some H2O to begin this period, and if he can continue playing the way he did before the Olympic break, John, he will give Carolina a chance. I think it's safe to say the Russian team could have used his services, but they had some trouble scoring goals in the tournament.
The officials tonight, Steve Kosari, that's Dean Morton, the other referee, Jay Scherz and Trent Noor on the lines. First of two, Dallas will be in Carolina on April the 3rd, and these two teams are playing for the first time in a long while. You have to go all the way back to November 6th of 2011. Sit back and enjoy this one. Andrej Sekera, Justin Falk on defense for Carolina. It goes off the stick of Jordan Staal right into the Dallas bench. Let's take a look at tonight's Storm Tracker.
Well, it begins with the fact that the power play has to find a way. I know it sounds like a broken record, and that would be one of the things in an otherwise good effort that really cost Carolina. We spoke about Skinner. Skinner being back in the West in the pregame show. His last 3 games in Western Conference cities, he's scored. This is his first game since that game winner in Phoenix, and then a better neutral zone.
Injuries and scratches at the top of your screen now, courtesy of Rex Healthcare, which is chosen for excellence. And now Jordy Ben, the brother of Jamie, older brother, out to center ice, cut off by Carolina's Andrej Sekera. Jamie Benn all over Nathan Gerbe, and now the Hurricanes recoil back in their own zone. Falk out to center, right on the tape of Nathan Gerbe, sidestepping Brendan Dillon, getting to his Tyler Seguin. Was red hot this season with 56 scoring points. That leads Dallas. It comes all the way back in the Carolina zone, and this is icing here against the Stars.
That was actually a close call on hybrid icing, and congratulations to Lindy Ruff, who was part of Mike Babcock's gold medal winning staff. So we were just in Buffalo, where we of course saw Lindy for so many years, and now we're in Dallas, where he's doing a fine job, and his team is playing, I think, the best defensive hockey that they have all year to finish before the break in a torrid clip when it comes to wins.
They start a 3-game homestand here tonight. A quick shot off the draw taken by Senin, stopped by Lehtinen, loose out in front. Valeri Nichushkin will clear it into his own bench, and we get a stoppage of play. With the Canes win tonight, all Caniacs win. Get 50% off your entire menu price online order at participating Papa John's the day after a Canes win. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Important early face-off. Look at where Staal is. If he can power it back, Semin should take one step to the middle and just worry about getting it through, with Yuri Tlusty going to the net.
Dallas is 4-1-1 in their last 6 in this building. Off the draw, Ron Hainsey will settle it down. Little wrister looking for a tip from Eric Staal. Broken up by Alex Goligoski through center, all the way down to Khudobin, who leaves it there for Ron Hainsey. Hainsey paired on defense with John Michael Lyles. That's been the tandem of late. Out to center ice now, the Hurricanes attack. Dallas is positioned well in the center zone as they get their 4th line out, centered by Vernon Fiddler. To the corner now, broken up by Trevor Daley. Ryan Garbutt through the center zone, off the stick of Antoine Roussel. Back out to center ice. Yuri Tlusty with Semin, but the Hurricanes are offside. Semin in the zone early.
It was a good chip there to create that chance by John Michael Lyles. Canes need a big game from him. And speaking of big games, boy, did this guy ever play big. On a line with 2 players we'll see in Anaheim in the next few days, and Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf scored the only goal against the United States. He has become a very popular Canadian, and his brother, of course, as you mentioned, is also on this Dallas team.
Well, he took ownership of his own game. Many young players have to do that. It's really paid off for Jamie Benn. Now comes all the way back, 2 game-winning goals in the Olympics. Of course, that big one against the United States off the stick of Riley Nash. Kevin Connaughton with a shot that glances wide, and now getting to it is Rich Peverly as the Stars recoil. They are 14-9-6 here at American Airlines Center. Former Hurricane Eric Cole overskating that one. Jay Harrison through the middle now. Tuomo Ruutu. And the Hurricanes will have to be patient against this Dallas defensive structure.
The Hurricanes are going to need their bread and butter, which is their forecheck, because if there is one weakness for this young Dallas team that I think is playing better than projected, it is their defense.
Now Alex Chiasson walks in, but Ray Whitney was offside, and we get a stoppage. Tonight's Moe's Southwest Grill Hey What Do You Say queso player is John Michael Lyles. If he scores a goal tonight, all Caniacs receive a free side of Moe's famous queso and hot fresh chips tomorrow at any Triangle locale.
Well, they need him to be a producer, whether it be puck moving at even strength or to settle things down and finally get this power play going. This is a big game for Lyles, who spent a lot of his career in this Western Conference with Colorado.
Manny Malhotra through center ice. Sean Horkoff chugging all the way back. They'll lay it off now for Jordy Benn. Starting from his own zone, little up ice pressure from Carolina's Elias Lindholm. Ray Whitney in control. He'll swing it back. 41 years young for the Wizard, and now it's played here by Ron Hainsey. Ray Whitney attempts to get it deep, moving it by Hainsey. It comes all the way down to John Michael Lyles. Patrick Dwyer starts his engine through the center ice zone. Nathan Gerbe. Good back pressure by Nichushkin. As Gerbe tries to recover on him, Tyler Seguin away for Nichushkin, and away they go. Jamie Benn through center ice. Patrick Dwyer pickpocketing him at the line, and now Trevor Daley on the turning stick of Benn. Here's Val Nichushkin. He'll walk in on his backhand, set up Seguin, and they score! Tyler Seguin, and a flash takes a beautiful pass from Valerie Nichushkin. 1-0 Dallas.
I was going to mention, one of the matchups to watch tonight will be Elias Lindholm back in the lineup and Nichushkin, who was taking a few picks later in the first round. Very, very strong player for just a teenager. Good counter here in the neutral zone. This is a neutral zone turnover. It's one of our game keys. And what a look from Nichushkin. Just gains a little bit of separation on Sekera and is able to feed it beautifully to Seguin. Seguin is a right shot in the left side looking in, which allows him to not only get it to the net, but elevate it quickly. And Seguin scores on his teammate of last year, Anton Khudobin.
Tyler Seguin, a point-a-game player this season. Game number 57, 57 points now. As Seguin scores his 25th goal of the season. Dallas off on the right foot. Ryan Garba. Vernon Fiddler goes to work. Here's Antoine Roussel. Broken up. Trevor Daley now in neutral ice will circle back.
And Nichushkin played for the Russian Olympic team. We know that it was not a good tournament for Russia, but for him to make and play on that team, deal with all the pressure with Putin being there.
Now it comes all the way back down. Kari Lettinen ready for that one, taken by Yuri Talusti. Eric Stahl picked off momentarily by Eric Cole. Eric now feeds to an open corner down the wall. Jay Harrison inside for Eric Stahl. Getting to it now is Eric Cole, deep in his own zone. He'll start ahead. Eric Cole hits the line, but Dallas is offside, and we get a stoppage.
Better neutral zone is one of our game keys. When you have the puck on your stick, you've got to manage it once. The Hurricanes have it, although good pressure as we roll forward by Dallas. But now Gerbe has it on his tape. He isn't able to get it deep, and the quick counter from the Dallas Stars. What a play by Nichushkin. And really, Seguin came in undetected there from that wide angle. I don't think that anybody knew he was available until it was clearly too late.
You could see Khudobin just bit just a little bit on Nichushkin, and because of that, could not get all the way across. It would have been a spectacular save if he did. Now Harrison lays it off for Jeff Skinner. Brett Belmore from his own zone. A lead pass, protected beautifully by Kevin Connaughton, who's back in Dallas's lineup tonight. Rich Peverly is taken down, and it's carried out here by Riley Nash. Nash in the Dallas zone. Back heat that time by Cody Eakin, coming back on him. And now Tuomo Ruutu is double teamed. Riley Nash for Ruutu. Centering one off a stick. Went off Sergei Gonchar. Dallas will survive this sequence as they play it out of play, and we'll see what happens here.
That is going to be an early power play gift for the Hurricanes. And it's Cody Eakin, who is as hard of a working player as you're ever going to find. He had just made a heck of a good back check to the right of your screen. And I've always liked this rule. There are a lot of people that don't like it, but I like it because when pressure's created, and there was a little pressure, you have a decision to make if you're a defensive puck carrier. The power play, we all know, John, it has to deliver. And Lyles is an especially important quarterback of it. They're 26 in the blue line.
Carolina 0 for 5 with the power play in Buffalo on Tuesday night. The Hurricanes are number 28. They are number 24 on the road. Dallas, number 20 on the kill, number 13 here at home. Jiri Tlusty encumbering Eric Staal with that one. Now Tuomo Ruutu along with Alex Semin, Tlusty and Eric, and John Michael Liles, who has just a couple of assists since joining Carolina. They're looking for more scoring from him, especially on the power play. Semin plays it along the boards and deep. Goligoski back to get it around the boards, cut off by Carolina's Tuomo Ruutu. Flung along by Vernon Fiddler, getting to it Roussel, and now Trevor Daley from dead center gains the red line and kills some time.
Semin was dazed from that hit, and he is still struggling to get off. So we're going to have to make sure we watch him. Pete Friesen has already located him on that Carolina bench.
Justin Falk now carries the puck this way for Nathan Gerbe. Drop pass for Jeff Skinner. He'll set up shop out in front. Lettman got it. And Sekera's shot tipped wide by Gerbe. Skinner with a bid blocked by Jordy Ben. It comes all the way back. Falk across for Sekera. His shot stopped by Beverly, then by Jordy Ben out in front. Sekera does not have a stick. It's carried along by Jamie Benn. Brendan Dillon beautifully in. He scores! Right by Hudobin. 2-0 Dallas.
Carolina has to play a two-way game to win, to make the playoffs. And that means when you're not scoring, you have to do other things. I want you to watch 53 Jeff Skinner eventually here. Kari Lehtonen makes a heck of a pad save through traffic. Ben, the Dallas captain, comes down, and I want you to watch the high slot area. Right here, you have to play the man. You cannot go puck chasing when you have a defenseman, Dillon. If you just play the body, he doesn't drag it, he doesn't get the shot through, and you avoid this whole situation with this home crowd readily involved. You have to do that if you're Jeff Skinner, even with your scoring at the clip that he did in December. But when you're not scoring, you have to do other things. And there you have to play the body in a key area.
6th goal of the season for Brendan Dillon. And trouble brewing here possibly, but Carolina will get out of that one as it harmlessly comes out to center ice, and Alex Goligoski will feed it back in.
And Semin now gets off very early in his shift. He clearly is not 100%. So we'll have to watch and see if he goes to the Canes room.
Now Alex Goligoski in control, up the cut and out. Just 12 seconds, as we see, left to go on this Carolina power play. They've had 2 shots with it. Now they start again. Justin Falk. Semin down the hallway to the room. We will await word. Now, Eric Staal to the outside of Gonchar. Mopped up by Jordy Ben out in front. Grayson Bowman for Tuomo Ruutu. Eric now in the corner. Off a stick, off Gonchar. Played back to the point. Falk swings it across Sekera. His shot blocked. Going down, Vernon Fiddler. Getting to it here is Cody Eakin out of the box. He'll move it. Dallas has time to get it out of harm's way.
Carolina's actually created some pretty good traffic in front of Lehtonen.
That goes off the blocker of Hudobin in an awkward way. The shot taken by Sergei Gonchar and back out to center ice. Now it's played by Kevin Connauton for Val Nichushkin, prized rookie, 18 years of age. Now at the line, Connauton will feed it ahead, broken up by Carolina's Brett Belmore, off a stick, and it stays in play. The veteran Sergei Gonchar back to play it. Dallas captain Jamie Benn will work it back. We have just about 8 minutes gone here in period 1. Shots are 5-3 Carolina, but they trail early by 2. Then separated from the puck nicely by Jay Harrison.
See what happens when you play the body right there? Same spot that Dillon made the play on Jeff Skinner.
That's right. See the shots now. That validates that. It comes all the way back in. Kari Lehtonen for Jordy Ben. And now Eric Cole looks around, handcuffed a bit by the forechecking of Pat Dwyer. Jordy Ben hit by Dwyer. Tyler Seguin for Dallas reverses the flow. Top of your screen, Rich Beverly a chip. Out to center ice, and Nathan Gerbe is on his horse, and he has control. John Michael Liles with a quick up. Patrick Dwyer directly in front of us will feed it all the way back in. Lehtonen in the trapezoid now. Laid along for Jordy Ben, and out they come. Through center ice, it's Cody Eakin, the former Washington Capital. We'll try and move it by John Michael Liles as we see it. Eric Cole lends a helping hand out of that corner scrum. Eakin moves it for Cole, and a penalty is forthcoming. Carolina will get control, and they go to the box. Not a good start for the Hurricanes. 11:06 left to go in period 1. Tyler Seguin first, and then defenseman Brendan Dillon. 2-0 Dallas in Big D. back in Dallas, and John Michael Lyles of the Hurricanes is the guilty party for high sticking, putting Carolina down a man.
And it is the guy that wore 26 for so many years from Carolina that helped to draw it, but it wasn't actually Eric Cole. It was the recipient of the high stick. Let's watch if we just roll forward for a second here. Stop it right here, guys. Here's Semin right here. Was that interference? Was it a late hit from Roussel? It's very close. What we do know is that Semin's gone to the dressing room.
So the first power play for the Dallas Stars. They are number 23, number 28 at home. Carolina, number 25 on the kill, 24th on the road. Goligoski, Seguin, now Ben, Jamie, holding onto it. His shot, blocking the way through by Justin Falk. He got it back. One-timer, goal denied by Hudobin. Jamie Benn. Alex Goligoski at the center point. Tyler Seguin now looks it over. Inside it goes. He gets it back from Chason. His shot sealed off by Anton Hudobin. No further play.
Victoria, British Columbia is a beautiful area to the west of Vancouver. That's where the Ben family grew up. Jamie's father, Randy, was a great softball player that played on national teams for Canada. And, you know, so now he has two sons in the NHL. He told me this morning he was playing Junior A Tier 2, which maintains your college eligibility. He and his brother had committed to the University of Alaska Fairbanks before they decided to go to the Western Hockey League, and he played in beautiful Kelowna for the Rockets.
Those are the decisions a lot of young kids have to make. Still playing junior hockey, but there are levels where you can still get to college and play if you do that. Now it's held in. Whitney tees it up, fought off out in front by Brett Belmore. He'll play it alertly off the glass and get it all the way back out.
Good block from Belmore. I spent my 21st birthday playing a game against the Nanooks, which is the Fairbanks team years ago, and that's where the Bens nearly ended up before junior.
Ray Whitney does a good job to gain the zone. Horkoff moving it back now for Sergei Gonchar. Cody Eakin fanning on a pass, getting it back now. The Wizard along the far side of the near boards, holding onto it. Whitney now right out in front, fanning on it. Eakin because of the stick of Justin Falk, and it's wiped out of the zone.
The Hurricanes have actually done some good things despite this early deficit where they've made some key mistakes. But Falk, two good stick plays there, and prior to that on Ben.
30 seconds left in the power play. Two shots so far by Dallas. Jamie Benn. To the outside, now Goligoski holding onto it. His shot taken, fended off by Hudobin, played here by Seguin, broken up by Carolina's Manny Malhotra, and he'll move it back. Malhotra on the gallop goes to the corner. Bends off Goligoski, stays with it, kills time, 9 seconds left on the Dallas power play. Jamie Benn right on the tape of Alex Goligoski. Over the line, 3 defenders back. Now Tyler Seguin dancing with it. Moving it by Eric Cole, who's taken down. Jay Harrison turns it over to Ryan Garbutt. Now Seguin dusting it off. Hammered by Trevor Daley and a block by Yuri Talusti, who's stung by it.
And yeah, now he can finally get off, but Yuri Talusti had to sacrifice to stay on because he didn't want to give Dallas a free pass up the ice. Let's see if he's okay.
Antoine Roussel given a shove by Brett Belmore. Harrison reverses 4-7-8. Belmore takes a hit, makes a play, and here they come. Elias Lindholm lays it back for Kirby. His shot swallowed by Kari Lehtinen. 8:31 left to go in his first period. Kari Lehtinen and the Dallas Stars with a 2-0 lead at American Airlines Center.
We're back in Dallas, and the NHL trade deadline is less than a week away, March 5th. But the Canes look to push their way to the playoffs. We heard from Jim Rutherford, general manager for our Geico, quote, he says every week is crucial now. You have a good week, you jump up in the standings. You have a bad week, and you fall back. I don't want to say this is a make or break week because it's so tight, but it's important we play well and get those points. John and Tripp?
Well, Chantel, I think it's awfully close to a make-or-break week. And I can tell you that Jim Rutherford was not in Buffalo, but joined Ron Francis, who assists him in the management department. And this morning, he was on the phone a good percentage of the morning skate. I mean, a lot will be decided what happens at that deadline with what the result is in games like this. It's to me, it's that truthful.
Deadline is March the 5th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The Hurricanes actually will be in the air, flying back from San Jose that day when all the trades happen. Eric Staal now will clear it in. Kari Lehtinen slows it down. Trevor Daley takes a hit on the forecheck from Yuri Talusti. Rich Peverly, the former Boston Bruin, away for Goligoski. Alex Goligoski over the line, threads it ahead. Cody Eakins after it. He attempts a centering pass that's cut off by Eric Staal. They jam along the boards. Out of midair, Ron Hainsey bats it down. Gathered in by Dallas's Peverly. And a good save by Hudobin as it's tipped wide off the stick of Eric Cole, and the Hurricanes will get it out.
Like Sagan, Peverly, another teammate of Anton Hudobin's with the Boston Bruins.
Peverly and Sagan coming over in that big trade. Lettinen shuts the door on that easy chance from John Michael Lyles. Now Alex Goligoski out of the corner. Jamie Benn out to center ice. Justin Falk over his stick, and now the speedy Tyler Sagan is on him. They go to the corner and jockey for it. Ruutu moves it for Andre Sekera, who shied away from Jamie Benn. Now it goes to the corner. Sekera on Sagan as they scrum. 7:11 left to go in period one. And Dallas with an early 2-0 lead. The goal scored by Tyler Sagan and Brendan Dillon as we see the scoring chances in the early going. It comes all the way back in. Riley Nash forechecking for Carolina. Nash along with Skinner and Ruutu. Down Nichushkin over the line. Moving up on Belmore. Things off wing on the right side. Nichushkin stays with it. Sets up Kevin Connaughton. His shot goes wide to Remaze out in front. And it kicks out to the center zone.
There you see Nichushkin's strength. Yes, that is a teenager that just rolled off that check.
But a big guy, a big team. He is 6'4", 210 pounds. He was the 10th overall pick in 2013.
And I know the Hurricanes had him very high on their list. The way that Lindholm sees the ice, I believe so much in the upside of Lindholm. But anybody would have said Nichushkin with that strength and big frame, more NHL ready.
Now Ben will go deep. And back of the goal, it's free. Nathan Gerby gets to it. Pinching down hard. Brendan Dillon on him. Loose in back of the goal. They center one out in front. That was Horkoff, and it's broken up. It's loose. Ray Whitney's after it. Horkoff sticks his nose in, and Carolina again finally gets it out.
That's a tough, at least the defenseman stand. That's one of those in the neutral zone. You can't have all three guys changing up front at the same time because it creates speed for the opponent.
Antoine Roussel muscled by Jay Harrison along with Eric Stahl. Ryan Garbutt cut it off. Garbutt along the boards now. Broken up by Eric, who clears it all the way back in the Dallas zone. Trevor Daley, an excellent skater, back to play it. Through center ice, it's Roussel. Laid across nicely for Vernon Fiddler. His shot off the blocker of Hudobin. Free to the corner. Now Fiddler gets after it. Goligoski all the way across for Trevor Daley moving up. Daley throws on the brakes. A tight turn on Hainsey. Now it's Fiddler. They'll lay it along, but the play was read by Eric Stahl as they attempt to get it out.
That's Fiddler on the fourth line. The journeyman he is, he brings a ton of speed to that threesome. I watched their last game, as I mentioned earlier, against Phoenix, and he was really good.
That was a 2-1 win for the Dallas Stars in that one. This is their first game after the Olympics. It's Tuomo Ruutu. Laying it back for Justin Falk. His shot off Riley Nash. Loose out in front. As Kevin Connaughton could not get to it, and now Cody Eakin tries to move it by Ruutu, and he succeeds. Eric Cole taken down by Justin Falk. And Dallas back to the power play. 4:41 left to go in this first period. Kirk Muller is puzzled by that one. His team is down by 2 early here in Texas. Well, we're back in Big D, and Justin Falk getting involved with Eric Cole in the center zone, and he sits for interference.
Yeah, let's just watch Falk here. We all know that Cole has great speed and can change lanes. Yeah, I mean, it's a penalty. I think it's a penalty clearly that you can avoid. And I think in this first period, John, there's no question Carolina's done some good things, but they've had a lot of shoot yourself in the foot type incidents.
Now Malhotra up front along with Patrick Dwyer, Brett Belmore, Ron Hainsey on the back end for Kirk Muller. Goligoski, Eric Cole, Tyler Sagan, Jamie Benn, and Alex Chiasson are the forwards. Over the line now. Getting to it here is Jamie Benn. Goligoski quickly across. Cole holding on to it. Chiasson with a bit. Good save by Hudobin. Now Goligoski lays it along for Tyler Sagan. Right out in front of Chip. And a good save by Hudobin again off young Alex Chiasson. Coors Light, cold hard facts for Kirk Muller and his team. They're at the bottom of the NHL, an area where you want to be. Least penalty minutes.
That was an example of what motion creates on a power play, John. Chiasson, did you see the first chance was from the high slot, right around the tops of the circles? And then the second one was between the hash marks. You need puck motion, you need body motion, and that's what creates a good power play.
Couple of very good saves there by Anton Hudobin off the draw. Andre Sekera over the stick of Eric Cole. Again, all the way down to Stars goaltender Kari Lehtinen. From here, the Hurricanes go to L.A. on Saturday. Jiri Tlusty shorthanded off the stick of Goligoski and wide. Carolina with those 9 league-leading shorthanded goals. 7 have been scored on the road. Goligoski pressured by Jiri Tlusty, as we saw. Now Jamie Benn back in his own zone will start ahead. Good pass over the line. Seguin walking in, and the shot goes wide from Chiasson. Now it's played along the boards. Getting to it is Riley Nash, broken up by the Stars' Tyler Seguin, and again back out to center.
Seguin really has been a jack of all trades in this period. He scores the first goal of the game with a quick release on the beautiful Nichushkin play. But we've seen him show that he can be a good passer too.
Here comes Nichushkin, stopped by Hudobin. He gave up a rebound, and it's cleared out by Pat Dwyer. Lehtinen now will leave it there for Alex Goligoski. 17 minutes gone in period 1. See the time left on the Dallas power play. That game in Los Angeles on Saturday afternoon will start with Hurricanes Live at 3:30. We're back on Sports South for that one. It comes all the way back in the zone. Ron Hainsey looks around. He's pressured on the play that time by Sean Horkoff, and getting to it here is the captain, Eric Staal. Staal goes to work 1-on-2. No friends to pass to. His shot is stopped by Kari Lehtinen.
And he challenged Sergei Gonchar, did Eric Staal. How many people at the beginning of the year would say that the one Russian who made the Olympic team from the Dallas Stars was Nichushkin, not Gonchar?
They're from the same hometown. It comes all the way back in. In control now. Fiddler out in front off bodies. He got it back. Vernon Fiddler. Brendan Dillon at the line. Fiddler one more time. Vernon Fiddler moving down. Jordy Benn out in front going wide. Garbutt. His shot pawed down by Eric. And Roussel's shot is stopped by Anton Hudobin. So this line, Vernon Fiddler, Antoine Roussel, and Ryan Garbutt getting it done for Lindy Ruff.
And they have with regularity. Big part of the pre-scout. They work hard. They have speed. They support one another, which are all ingredients you need in this NHL.
Brendan Dillon now will start ahead. A deflected pass is left there. Jamie Benn is in the zone. Riley Nash getting back for Carolina. Send it along the boards and back out. Jeff Skinner is camped out. Laying it off for Tuomo Ruutu. Ruutu at the line. Falk stays onside. This way it's Skinner. He'll sweep it ahead. Getting back to it is Jamie Benn, and now Goligoski. Alex Goligoski plays it along the boards, and out it's Seguin. He's moving through center, and the Stars are getting a lot of room through the middle to skate and gain speed. Now Nichushkin goes down. Seguin says hello to Riley Nash. Hudobin leaves it for Sekera. A steal. Tyler Seguin out in front. Off Falk, and it's covered up by Anton Hudobin. Caniacs, here's your chance to win a team-signed hockey stick from Rex Healthcare. Simply follow Rex Healthcare on Twitter and tweet the hashtag RexHeart. Do it right now for your chance to win. The winner is notified by reply tweet and announced in the third period.
Retweeted by the official Stars Twitter account. Visit DallasStars.com/tweetsies.
Off the face-off, won back that time by Carolina's Jordan Staal. Back out to center ice. Lindholm leaves it for Eric. Lindholm out in front, gets to it. Lehtinen got a pad to it, and now Cody Eakin tries to clear.
That's a chance for Lindholm. I think we're going to see big players double shift with him in this game.
Hainsey with a shot, tipped right on, and Kari Lehtinen will hang on. With the two Staal brothers out in front, along with Elias Lindholm.
Even prior to the Semin injury, I think Lindholm's going to see a lot of different line mates, guys being double shifted. Here again is the injury earlier in this game. Could it have been interference? Yes, it could have to Roussel. But that's one of those plays where you can't, once the puck goes deep, I think, start to observe the play. I mean, Carolina has, again, they've done some positive things, but they haven't played that hard game, that bear down game, that real desperate game that you need to have in all three zones when points like this are on the line. I mean, that's what they have to have. Hey, it won Team Canada a gold medal, didn't it? It was their hard game. It was their defense first, their bear down game is the reason they won at Sochi.
Off the draw now, forked along by Tuomo Ruutu. In control is Jordy Benn. Was off Fiddler and again back out. Jeff Skinner in control. At the line, it's Nash. Nash moves it, sidesteps Dillon. It comes all the way back in. It's reversed that time by the Stars, and out they go. Jordy Benn takes a hit. A heavy one from Tuomo Ruutu, and it comes all the way back in.
That's what you're looking for. Good finishing in the check from Ruutu. By the way, Ruutu told me before the semifinals against Sweden, he didn't know Kari Lehtinen was playing in place of the injured Tuukka Rask until warm-up. That's how focused Ruutu was on his game. He said he went to go shoot in the war bump on Lendon, who we knew for many years, of course, is an Atlanta Thrasher. He said, "Where's Tuukka?" And Lendon came in and for the first half of the game did a really good job. Eventually gave up a game-winning goal from long range from the stick of Erik Karlsson.
24 and a fraction left in this first period. 2-0 Dallas. 2 quick goals early. Tyler Seguin, then a shorthanded goal from Brendan Dillon. Back out to center ice. A loose puck as we see. Ray Whitney in control. He'll move it back. Sergei Gonchar indirectly along the boards. Chiasson is there, and now getting to it is Gonchar again. Back for Kevin Connauton. 5 seconds left in period 1. Connauton back for his partner Gonchar. Cut off by Kirby, blocked by Horkoff, and that'll do it. Ron Hainsey will be Chantel McCabe's guest as she delivers the PNC Bank first intermission. And on goals by Tyler Seguin. And a shorthanded tally from Brendan Dillon. It's Dallas 2, Carolina no score right here on Fox Sports Carolina. Welcome back to Dallas, and good news for the Hurricanes. Alex Semin has returned from injury.
It is good news. I'm guessing the Hurricanes, remember he had a concussion from a hit suffered in the Western Conference against Alex Pietrangelo of the St. Louis Blues earlier this year. They probably went through the necessary baseline test. That's just pure speculation on my part to make sure that there was no injury in that department. And excellent to see him back. It's important for him to protect himself, I think, on any hit that he might receive after making a play.
John Forsland along with Trip Tracy, Chantel McCabe at ice level along with our fine crew here at American Airlines Center in Dallas. Second game of this 5-game road trip. Hurricanes are in Los Angeles on Saturday afternoon. Jamie Benn is pickpocketed by Eric Staal. Semin comes calling for Talusti. A good play defensively by the Stars' Trevor Daley. Falk with a shot wide of Kari Lehtinen. Down to Chushkin for Dallas, out to center ice, looking for Jamie Benn. And play comes to a halt. A penalty is called on the way out.
And it's going to be Semin with the slash. They're coming back.
All right, let's take a look at the first period numbers. Brought to you by Buffalo Brothers. Ah, man, now I want wings.
No, it's not going to be Semin. It's going to be Eric Staal. I thought it was Semin for the slash. They're coming back. It was the back official that made the call. And we will see if we can locate it. Eric Staal had actually, earlier in the shift, forced a turnover by turning a puck over from the captain on the other side, Jamie Benn.
Third power play for the Stars. It comes all the way down to Kari Lehtinen. They have Sergei Gonchar manning 1-point position along with Ray Whitney, down to Chushkin, Sean Horkoff, and Cody Eakin. This is the second unit for Lindy Ruff. Horkoff in control. Broken up by Brett Belmore. He'll fling it along the boards and all the way down to Dallas goaltender Kari Lehtinen.
Clearing pucks when you have the chance. If you don't, it usually comes back to bite you, and that's something in the bear down category to watch too. By the way, in the bear down category, Dallas, big edge in faceoffs in those old man, I'm loving it wings statistics as well.
Cody Eakin peppered by Nathan Gerby on the way out. He'll drop it off for Sergei Gonchar. Skate to stick. Eakin plays it along for Nichushkin. Try and move it away from Andrei Sekera. And now Eakin will send it all the way back in his own zone. So Carolina aggressively up ice. A big key early in this kill.
And it's a kill that could set the tone for the entire period with so much hockey to be played. We all know that Carolina has scored the number of shorthand goals they have.
Here comes Tyler Seguin right by Justin Falk. But the pass is behind Alex Chiasson, and away go Carolina. Riley Nash tries to make a move on Alex Goligoski, who plays it well out of the corner. Jamie Benn will dig it out, and here he comes. Waning stages of this power play as Benn now will move it deep. Belmore looks around, pressured by Jamie Benn. Good play by Belmore, off the boards and out.
There are many players that can generate the type of speed, and it has to come from puck movement and coming underneath that Seguin did to beat Falk like he did.
Dallas without a shot on this power play as Belmore takes care of that one more time and all the way down to the paddle of Lehtinen.
And after that speed, I was just shocked that Seguin chose to pass, not shoot that puck.
Chase on now for Seguin with a tight turn. Tyler Seguin goes to work. Moving on, Pat Dwyer. Centering one off Hudobin, who hangs on.
And that was an attempted pass as well. What speed this was. You can see the frustration as Seguin finishes his shift. Tape to tape, north-south hockey. I mean, there really wasn't much to it other than the fact that that pass was made at top speed. That's where he's got to challenge Khudobin. And here he's trying to make a pass again. And that puck nearly goes off of the far leg of Anton Khudobin and in the net. Sharp save.
Stahl's out of the box. Carolina has killed it off. Now Jordy Ben will start from his own zone. A lead pass. They stretch it out again. It's Roussel, and now Antoine Roussel goes over his stick, and it's played here by Jordy Ben. And Roussel now down low is tied up. Antoine Roussel jamming with John Michael Lyles along with two others. He digs it out. Good job by Roussel, and it's played here by Jay Harrison and back out. We have word that Alex Semin has gone back to that Hurricane locker room, so that probably is not a good sign. Harrison for Jeff Skinner. Gap closed by Sergei Gonchar. Horkoff lays it along. Connaughton with a shot picked off by Anton Khudobin as Kevin Connaughton had a bid between the rings.
Big save there. We may remember if the Hurricanes get one and then get two and climb the mountain in this hockey game. Again, it's the neutral zone. It's one of our game keys. Dallas winning the battle. And eventually leads to this chance. Good challenging stop from Khudobin, being able to actively see through traffic that was actually just created by his teammates in the slot.
Now Khudobin handles two opportunities right off the faceoff, make it three. Ray Whitney along the boards now. Tied up by Eric Stahl. They win a battle. Horkoff for Whitney. It goes by Khudobin. Played this way by Trevor Daley. Daley moves it. Sekera had it, lost it, so did Falk. Now Horkoff inside for Chason. He'll make a move. Trying to cycle. His shot fended off by Anton Khudobin, who desperately now freezes the puck for another faceoff.
I might consider my timeout right now if I'm Kirk Muller because, this is where the game could be lost or the Hurricanes could start to win it. Faceoffs I mentioned. Big edge to Dallas in the first period. Continues on a play like this. What a save there. As Anton Khudobin is able to locate that low rebound offering from Chason.
Just about 4 minutes gone in the second period. Shots are 16-11 favoring Dallas off the faceoff. Jordy Ben knocked down. Takes the ice away of Patrick Dwyer. He got away with it. Dwyer with a shot fought off by Lettinen right out in front. Second save on Jordan Stahl. And Dallas will survive as they get it out.
There have been some rebounds in the first and now second period from Kari Lettinen. And if you have that middle drive as Jordan did there, the Hurricanes can take advantage.
Now Eakin. Eric Cole steps in, shoots one off the stick of Ron Hainsey, and it goes out of play. The Carolina Ale House is the place for cool bars, and the next one will be Saturday afternoon in Wilmington. So check out CarolinaHurricanes.com for more details on that, and go to the Carolina Ale House for cool bars.
Boy, we're all hoping, John, that the Hurricanes can get back to sharing some of the memories that they did during some of the finest years that Eric Cole had. Remember the 2002 Stanley Cup final team, of course, the championship team, and then the team that went to the conference finals in 2009. What great memories they were. Ray Whitney, of course, part of this Dallas lineup that was a key player in two of those three marches in the postseason.
Loose puck here. Nichushkin leaves it there. It's broken up by Carolina's Tuomo Ruutu. Sergei Gonchar readies for a hit from Drayson Bowman. Kevin Connaughton out to center ice. Jay Harrison is back to get it in his own zone. An indirect pass that picked off by Nichushkin. Played along that time by Sagan. It comes all the way back. Bowman in his own zone. Saucer pass for Harrison. They start again just about 5 minutes gone in the second period. John Tripp and Chantel with he was always. Found Nichushkin for Dallas. Leaves it in the center zone, and getting to it this way is Jay Harrison.
Tuomo Ruutu actually stepped on that puck and lost his footing. Ruutu did not practice yesterday, one of the few that didn't.
Chance by Eric Stahl, blocked in front. Falk with a bid, stopped by Lettinen. The rebound handled by Kari Lettinen. Elias Lindholm had the opportunity. Lindholm out of the corner, getting help from Jiri Tlusty. Four-man scrum ensues, and now it's loose. Tlusty tries to get it out. Eric Stahl, right off Lettinen again. He's centered out in front. Now getting to it is Vernon Fiddler. He'll move it out of his own zone and sidestep Jiri Tlusty.
Big chance for Lindholm in Semin's spot.
Eric Stahl with a shot, blockered down by Lettinen, free to the board. Nichushkin hit hard by Eric Stahl. Good shift by this line as it comes back out, and now we see it come all the way back in the Carolina zone.
And a team that has been challenged to score goals in practice yesterday, then even this morning. Elias Lindholm was one guy that did have finish. And yes, John, I do know he's Swedish, not Finnish.
Now it's played, broken up by Manny Malhotra. Goligoski to an open corner. Jordan Stahl for the Hurricanes, broken up by Ray Whitney, and out they come. Horkoff in control, looking for Whitney, denied by Lyles, played along by Garbutt, wide of Anton Hudobin. Now Sean Horkoff goes to work, back to the point. Goligoski with a shot end over end wide. Chason takes a hit from Jordan. They jockey along the boards, and it comes all the way back. Hainsey looks around. John Michael Lyles lays it back for his partner, and they start again.
Well, I like the game of Chason. Big player that knows that he has to get to the front of the net to be an offensive danger, and I think he has been in the first almost half of this game.
Trevor Daley through center ice, broken up by Justin Falk. He'll right the ship here, back in his own zone. Circle away from Rich Peverly. Falk now impeded a bit on the way out, and now it's fed all the way back in the Dallas zone. Lettinen in the trapezoid moves it. Goligoski, Cody Eakin. Out to center ice, it's Peverly. One man back, Sekera. Peverly over the line, Cole's in. His shot deflects wide. Cole lost his stick in the process, and it's covered up by Anton Hudobin. Dallas 2, Carolina. No score.
Carolina Hurricanes hockey is brought to you by Kangaroo Express, your home of the $1.50 dog and drink. By Moe's Southwest Grill. Welcome to Moe's. And by the North Carolina Education Lottery. Play Powerball with Power Play from the North Carolina Education Lottery and get in the game. Jackpots start at $40 million.
It's a beautiful night and a beautiful venue here in Dallas. 2-0 Stars, Coors Light. Cold hard facts. We'll take a look here at Eric Staal being part of this. Right now, number 2 in terms of game-winning goals, franchise history, behind number 10, Ron Francis.
What's amazing is that in 2006, of course, the big line in the regular season of the playoffs was Staal, Cole, and of course, Corey Stillman. Then in 2009, Corey was not on the team, and it was Ray Whitney that filled in, being a right, not a left shot, like Stillman is, to again put that formidable line together. Cole, Staal, and Whitney. Boy, were they great in that series against Boston, eventually won in 7 games.
Brendan Dillon off the stick of Anton Hudobin. Doing face-off win, and now Jay Harrison from his own territory, away from Cody Eakin, knocked down by Eric Cole legally. Now it's played along by Carolina's Brett Belmore.
A lot of people don't know Ray Whitney got sick. Just a flu bug right at the wrong time at the beginning of the series against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And anybody that's been sick, and we all have, knows that it takes your energy away. You know, and Cam Ward had the back injury, and if Carolina still, with Whitney being under the weather and Cam Ward's back bothering him, easily could have won one or both of those games against the Pittsburgh Penguins, the eventual Cup champs. Who knows what would have happened in the rest of the series.
Alexander Semin, we have word now as we see Cam Ward backing up tonight. It's a lower body concern. He will not return. And we thank Kyle Hanlon, who is traveling with the Hurricanes on this sojourn, which will take us to Los Angeles on Saturday, Anaheim Sunday, and wrap it up Tuesday in San Jose.
And that proves that what I said is just pure speculation, because, of course, he's had a history of a concussion this year, but Kyle Hanlon, thank you to him, it's a lower body, not an upper body injury, so that could be a good sign.
Boy, a heavy hit by Jamie Benn, knocking down Tuomo Ruutu. The end result will be a power play for Carolina. Penalty is called here. Jordy Benn gets in the middle of it all. And a heavy hit in that corner. Just about 8 minutes gone in the second period.
Well, the power play finally getting going is one of our game keys. And talk about needing life from it right now. That's a situation where in the old NHL, absolutely Ben can engage in that hit with Ruutu. But in the current day NHL, he's denying him a chance, Ruutu, to get to that puck.
If the Canes score in the Duke Energy power play, Caniacs who say the winning phrase receive a free Bowberry biscuit from participating Bojangles restaurants tomorrow morning. Bojangles, it's bow time.
By the way, I noticed it at the time. We showed the hit that Semin received from Chason right on the boards of the blue line on the Dallas bench in the first period. The next shift, he took another hit, and I saw he was favoring one leg. So that might have actually been where he suffered the injury.
Second power play now for the Hurricanes. Here's Lyles at the point. John Michael Lyles drawing that puck away from Vernon Fiddler. Getting it from Eric. Holding on to it. One-timer Lindholm blocked by Daley. Gained by Fiddler. Off the boards and out to center. Lyles this way for Elias Lindholm, who gives it back.
And again, Lindholm, like it even strength. He's a right shot like Semin. He's assuming his spot. This is a heck of a chance for the young Swedish player.
Lyles over the line, pushes it by Goligoski, gets after it himself. They battle along the boards out of that 5-man scrum. It pops out. Vernon Fiddler up the gut and just out of the reach of Eric Stahl. And they start again, $1:20 left in the Hurricane power play. Here's Tuomo Ruutu, shielded by Trevor Daley. Goligoski for Dallas, broken up by Talusti. To the point it goes, it's Andrej Sekera. He'll settle it down. Sekera cradles the line, lays it along. Stone shot goes high. It ricochets off a stick and pops out.
Sekera did a nice job getting to the middle of the ice. When you get to the middle quickly, a lot of options become available.
Here comes Sekera. Back deep from Cody Eakin. Daley on him, and now Eric holds onto it, walks out in front. It's loose and covered by Kari Lehtinen.
Boy, and if you're lethargic at all getting to the middle of the ice, the way teams kill penalties, you've got no chance. And Sekera not only can get to the middle with purpose, he always has his head up. See, backhand, forehand, he knows he's got to get there, even with a rolling puck and elude a player coming out high. And he's able to gain separation and create a chance with that front presence.
Off the face-off, Justin Falk. A return away from Sean Horkoff. It's moved here by Gerby, broken up by Jordy Ben. Elevating that puck all the way down to Anton Hudobin. See the time left in the Hurricane power play, and the final push is on. Sekera will start from his own zone and quarterback. Andrej Sekera holding on to it. Carolina has one shot on this power play so far. Brendan Dillon, who has scored tonight, broken up by Jordan. Jordan for Gerby. Now Horkoff gets to it, not out. Sekera thinks about a shot, gives it this way for Falk. His shot is caught by Lehtinen through a maze out in front. A big screen from Jordan Stahl.
And rebound control, which has been something that has challenged Lehtinen here in this game. Pretty good looking power play actually for the Hurricanes. Both units get pretty good looks and seeing through traffic. And that was what he wasn't able to do in the game that cost the Finns, as Carlson scored on a one-timer. And for me, when a goalie has not played much, that's the toughest area, because guys never really fire away in practice because they don't want to hurt their own players. Right. And so you can't simulate, if you're a goalie in practice, the velocity of a shot in games.
That's right. Eric is given the boot out of the face-off, which is won now by Lindholm. One-timer Sekera blocked by Roussel. Antoine Roussel coming out at him. Goligoski gave it away. Eric Stahl in control to an open point. Sekera races across, but plays it offside and then takes a shove for good measure from Antoine Roussel, and then Talusti comes over on him.
Takes a while before you can assess trades, and Goligoski, the former University of Minnesota Golden Gopher, a good player, but boy, oh boy, have Ray Sherrill and the Pittsburgh Penguins done well on that deal that sent Neal to the Eastern Conference, and the synergies had at times with Crosby, but especially Evgeny Malkin.
Goligoski, of course, was a highly decorated high school player in Minnesota, collegiate player. Matt Niskanen also going over in that transaction. It was a good one for Pittsburgh. Now it's fed all the way back out of the box. Breakaway. Jamie Benn walks in on Hudobin. Who says no? And it comes all the way back out to center ice. Riley Nash on the attack. Moves it for Tuomo Ruutu. Throws on the brakes. Nash tries to get away from Trevor Daley. They jam along the boards. It pops out. Sergei Gonchar losing control. Nash out in front. Good recovery by Cody Eakin. And the Stars now are hard-pressed to get it out. Nash to the point. Belmore along the boards. Ruutu can't handle that pass. Daley now moves it for Sergei Gonchar.
That was late bloomer against late bloomer on that breakaway. Ben drafted 129th overall. Yeah, 129. Now he's a captain and a gold medal winning Olympian. And of course, Hudobin, a late bloomer himself.
Skinner taken down by Gonchar. Here come the Stars. Cole pulls up. Sagan walks in. And it deflects out of play as Hudobin aggressively came out at him. 9:03 left to go in the second period. Out of the box. And in alone was Jamie Benn. Shut down by Anton Hudobin.
The second, I'm on the bench with Coach Dave Lewis. When you're down a member of your top line, what's the best way to manage your bench?
Well, somebody else has to pick it up. I mean, we can't keep depending on one or two players, so it's a collective thing. We're a team, and we just got to get a goal here to make it a hockey game, a 2-1 game. So that's what we're trying to do, get the defense up into the rush, get some shots on net, and see what happens.
Thanks.
Yep.
Our thanks to Dave Lewis for his cooperation with that interview. And now Pat Dwyer will move it deep. Kari Lehtinen out to play it. Play it along the boards. Drayson Bowman taken out by Cole at the point. The shot taken that time by Lyles is blocked. Punched by Hainsey and caught again by Kari Lehtinen.
If there are any young goalies out there, we talk about it all the time. On a breakaway, you always want to be the guy to not make the first move. Ben has really improved his skating since he was taken out of Kelowna 129th. And look at the patience of Hudobin. He was not going to show his hand first. And once Ben clearly shows Anton he's not going to shoot, Anton is able to get a head start on the move to the backhand, close the hole.
Face off as we see in the Dallas zone. Eric Stahl and Vernon Fiddler, who is kicked out of the face-off here. Jay Scherers, the veteran linesman, handling those chores, and now Roussel will come in. Antoine Roussel and Eric Stahl off the draw. Alex Goligoski playing it in directly off the boards. Neutral ice. Lyles knocking it down. Picking it up here is Yuri Talusti, sealed off by Roussel, fished along by Trevor Daley. Ryan Garbutt at the line, defended by Carolina's John Michael Lyles. They move it back.
Go into your library card catalog. Garbutt was a free agent, wasn't he? Heck of a find he is.
Yes. Now Garbutt walks in, throws on the brakes, holding onto it. Roussel now with a shot blocked by Hainsey. Now it's played back out to center ice. He was signed in 2012 by the Dallas Stars. Icing is called here with 8:08 left to go in the second period, and we'll see a little body of work here from young Elias Lindholm.
Well, Lindholm taken a few picks ahead of Nichushkin. I believe the biggest reason is because down the road, the way Lindholm has the ability to see the ice. Nichushkin's going to be a gem. I think he's built on power. I don't know if he sees the ice as well as Elias Lindholm will be when he becomes in a man's body. But boy, oh boy, Nichushkin's been good in this game. Lindholm stepping in for Semen's spot with the injury has shown some life here in the second.
With Eric Stahl and Yuri Talusti, and they're out there now. Eric, defended by Ray Whitney. Will play it along the boards, taken down by Horkoff, and now knocked down at the line by Ron Hainsey. Knocked down legally by Horkoff. Here they come. Lane now holding on to it is Chason. Alex Chason will wipe it along here. Broken up by Carolina's Ron Hainsey. Along the boards, Chason on Tuomo Ruutu, and they start again. Ruutu has room to gain speed, and here he comes. Over the line, Ruutu defended that time by Jordy Ben. He'll dust it off a few times and get it back out to neutral ice. Now Hainsey off the stick into that Carolina bench, and we get a stoppage.
The one other element, and this is just my own thought, I've never heard confirmation of this, is when you're taking a player or considering it with a high first-round pick that's Russian, you have to be worried. Is he at some point going to go back to the KHL? Right. Radulov has done it. Kovalchuk has done it. And so if you take a guy with that type of pick, you know, you have at least that apprehension. And I don't know if it weighs in or not. It would for me if I was the one making the pick.
I think it does, and I think it goes into the selection process even into the Olympics down the road. I had it on that team, and who knows. It's a viable option for Russian players. Sekera with a shot, blocked in front, it's loose, and it pops out. Nichushkin is on it. We'll try and get it out. Val Nichushkin out to center ice, and here he comes. Will try and bulldoze his way through. He throws on the brakes. He's flushed out by Sekera. Connaughton now got it deep for Jamie Benn. Tyler Seguin wipes it through the blue and out. Off the boards, and it's carried out of the zone here by Jeff Skinner.
Again, Seguin and Hudobin know each other well from Boston. That's the second time in this period Seguin has attempted that bank play, and maybe that goes back to being in practice.
Now Seguin over the line, holding on to it. Taken down, and a tough penalty here for Patrick Dwyer in Dallas. Back to the power play.
Well, it's a stick infraction. And a lot of times when you're guilty of stick infractions, it means the other team has an edge in the speed department. And we don't say that very often about Patrick Dwyer. He's usually the guy winning speed battles. But Seguin has been a guy that has been on his toes, I think, all night long. And he draws the penalty, scores the first goal. He's been an impact player in this game.
So the Stars go to work again with a manpower advantage. Their fourth power play tonight. Cody Eakin, Val Nichushkin, Sean Horkoff, Ray Whitney, and Sergei Gonchar. This time for Lindy Ruff. It's dumped all the way down as we see it go past Kari Lettinen. Carolina has Brett Belmore, Ron Hainsey on the back end. Up front, Tuomo Root, Jiri Tlusty, and Manny Malhotra. Turning now is Nichushkin holding onto it. Now Nichushkin along the boards, back to the point. Gonchar, here it comes. Stopped by Hudobin. Whitney away, all the way across. Nobody sees it, but now Nichushkin does. He will set it up. Now Nichushkin all the way across. Good read by Manny Malhotra, and it comes all the way back out.
Ray Whitney in his terrific career. That will be right on the cusp of Hall of Fame. Always a passer, more of a shooter.
Cody Eakin drops it back for Jamie Benn, broken up by Jordan Stahl, and back out.
And when I faced his shot, time to time, Ray Whitney has a deceptive, phenomenal shot. He calls it a muffin. Remember we used to talk about that? It's a heck of a muffin because you couldn't read it, but he still, in most cases, likes to pass rather than shoot.
Tyler Seguin losing control to Jordan. Jordan Stahl approaches Goligoski, plays him hard. Alex Goligoski now in control, and out come the Stars. Jason through the middle, makes a move on Bowman, and now pushes it by Justin Falk. He'll get after it. Play it this way for Tyler Seguin. Seguin, who has scored tonight, holding on to it. He's defended by Justin Falk. Now Jamie Benn back to the point. Goligoski at the line, away from Grayson Bowman. Jamie Benn now for Goligoski. Inside it goes, turning stick, Tyler Seguin. Seguin holding onto it. Sakara looks at him all the way through two players. First it was Chason, then it was Jamie Benn, and the Hurricanes survive that and get it out. Dallas is down to 17 seconds on the power play with one shot. Chason at the line, walks in. He'll turn away from Hainsey. Utilize his large frame, hold on to it. Lay it back, Jordy Benn, his shot. Stopped by Hudobin. Eric Cole locates the puck. Jordy Benn wristing one off Tlusty. Getting to it now is John Michael Lyles. Thwarted a bit by Cole. Hurricanes get it out, and they're out of the box now. It's Eric along with Patrick Dwyer, who has control. His shot blocked by Brendan Dillon. Moved by Eric inside Tlusty. He's wedged by Jordy Benn. From the corner now, goes all the way back to Lyles. Lyles in control. He'll risk one blocked in front. Good play by Ryan Garbutt, and out they come.
Pretty stingy Dallas has been defensively.
Fiddler with a shot over the glove hand of Anton Hudobin, and it comes back out to center ice. Here's Jeff Skinner. Skinner at the line, tries to move it by Gonchar. He does, and it goes high. Beautiful move by Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, tremendous move. That's one of the few times that the Dallas defense has really been victimized.
Here they come. Horkoff holding onto it. Garbutt in control off the goal post. The heavy metal on the glove side of Anton Hudobin. Along the boards now. It's loose. As they continue that scrum, Kevin Connaughton is up on the play. You see it up close along with Horkoff and Harrison. Moved here for Riley Nash, given a tug, and a penalty against Ray Whitney. Out to center ice, it's Jeff Skinner. 10-2 with the skates. Here he comes, defended by Gonchar. And Dallas now will be down a man. Carolina will get the power play. But a great opportunity right here for the Dallas Stars. And the goalkeeper's best friend comes through. So Ray Whitney is guilty here, and the Hurricanes get a very important power play.
And it's our #1 game, King.
Right.
And right now, it literally has to give this team life. Ray Whitney, the former Carolina standout, guilty of either a hold or a hook. It can go either way. Offensive zone penalty. Ray Whitney, once upon a time, a teammate of Kirk Muller. This is where you need the conversion, John.
Eric Stahl, Elias Lindholm, Jiri Tlusty, Tuomo Root 2, and Lyles. John Michael Lyles in control. The shot stopped by Lettinen. They get control of it, and Goligoski will send it all the way back out. And Goligoski stung by that shot on the way through.
Special teams face-off win. Immediately leads to the possession. You don't have to waste time going back and getting it. You get right on the attack.
Now Lindholm tries to make a move here on Ryan Garbutt. Back to the point, Lyles. Moving along now for Tuomo Ruutu. Alex Semin injured, not out there obviously. Now Lindholm with a shot blocked by Trevor Daley. Elias Lindholm back again for Lyles. All the way across for Eric. His shot stopped by Lettinen. Cleaned up but not out by Daley. Lyles, his shot tipped on the way through by Tuomo Ruutu. Good job by Ruutu on Brendan Dillon. Along the boards, back to the point. Eric Stahl holding, shooting one. Tipped and wide off Trevor Daley. Daley in the corner. Good pressure by Lindholm. It goes high. It goes out of play on a tip. With 1:05 left to go on the power play.
Carolina was arguing that puck may not have been tipped. It would have been a 5-on-3. Lindholm here, just a little hesitation, and it cost him. But I like what Ruutu does here in the middle. He was hovering. You remember that play we showed in the first intermission of Chiasson hovering from the high slot to the low slot? The type of opportunities that presents, and Ruutu had it there. I thought Lindholm looked pretty comfortable. He's used to playing on the goal line with no cement. He's on more of a flank umbrella type spot as a right shot.
New unit, Jordan, Skinner, Gerby up front, Falk, and Sekera on the points. Off the draw, Goligoski. Wristing one by Sekera. All the way down to Anton Hudobin. See the time left on Carolina's third power play tonight. Good pressure by Antoine Roussel on Justin Falk. Fiddler now will move it ahead. Dallas has scored 5 shorthanded goals this season. All 5 have been scored here at American Airlines Center. Skinner rubbed out by Goligoski. Played off the boards by Jordy Ben. And again all the way down in Canes ice. Sekera's flushed out by Rich Peverly. Loose puck. Get a little help from Justin Falk.
Not only a shorthanded goal tonight, but from a defenseman nonetheless.
That's right, make it 6. That's 6 now, adding to those 5 as it's carried out here by Jamie Benn. At the line with a head of steam, he walks in alone. He scores! What a goal! Jamie Benn right through the defense. Shorthanded goal, their second shorty tonight. 3-0 Dallas.
Well, get ready, plays of the week, because we've just had an end-to-end tally that's going to find its way into that lineup. Neutral zone, one of our game keys. The Hurricanes involved in a line change, so no back pressure to be able to limit Ben's speed. I mean, he can just turn and burn. And he recognizes him challenging both Falk and Sekera is his best chance. And Hudobin had made a breakaway save on Ben earlier in the period with a move to the backhand, so he tries the other side, the power move to the forehand, and scores.
And they want more. Here they come. Cody Eakin. This way for Garbutt. And a good stick by Jay Harrison. Along the boards, Ryan Garbutt broken up by Pat Dwyer. And away he goes. Dwyer approaching Trevor Daley. He'll push it deep. 64 seconds left in the second period. 3-0 Dallas. Cody Eakin taken down by Jay Harrison. Jamie Benn ambles his way in the zone again. He's defended by Ron Hainsey.
You know, some people just look like hockey players. He looks like a hockey player. And, you know, he's a left shot, he's got a right shot. In some ways, reminds me of Brendan Shanahan. He can play a rugged game, he can play a skilled game. What a beauty he is. Let's watch here. And the Hurricanes, let's watch the stick of Jeff Skinner here. Right here, here's Skinner. Okay. And the guys are, I think, trying to give him a stick. So he either has to make a line change or grab the new stick, but he's already beaten. The problem here was, John, that you had one man. You're up a man if you're Carolina on the power play, but was there any second man support to help Skinner? No, that's all Ben had to worry about.
Chiasson with a shot blocked by Dwyer. Ben shorthanded. That's Jamie Benn, his 23rd goal of the season at 18:35. Kevin Connauton play it along the boards. John Michael Lyles in control. 22 seconds left in period 2. Ron Hainsey through the middle. Connauton getting back to it for Dallas. Pressured a bit by Jiri Tlusty. Out of the corner now. They tie it up. Just 10 seconds left in the period as we see it up close. Moved along now. Played here by the Dallas Stars and in control, Sean Horkoff. So the Stars now will salt away the rest of this period. They add to a 2-0 lead. They get a breakaway goal from Jamie Benn, his 23rd goal of the season. Elias Lindholm will be Chantel McCabe's guest as she will bring us the PNC Bank second intermission. And the Stars in control tonight. Their first game back from the Olympic break. It's Dallas 3 and Carolina no score. You watch Canes hockey right here on Fox Sports Carolina.
Carolina Hurricanes hockey is brought to you by Raleigh Orthopedics. Go where the pros go. Raleigh Orthopedic. By Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness. And by Ontario Tourism. Go fish in Ontario.com. Get hooked.
We're back in Big D as we get started here for period number 3. Tyler Seguin started the scoring way back when in period 1. The freeze cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. A great look at Seguin's goal.
Well, you're going to see why players use varying degrees of flex. It allows you to create power, especially for a guy that's moderate size like Seguin. And I think it's fitting we're talking about flex with the Dallas Stars because the guy, not off his stick, but scored the biggest goal in Dallas Stars history by the name of Brett Hull. Used maybe the whippiest stick in modern day history in the game.
The numbers for Tyler Seguin. Much ballyhooed trade at the end of last season, moving him from Boston here. Jamie Benn, the Olympic hero, has come back. This is their first game after the Olympic break, and they have not missed a beat. Lindy Ruff was concerned about some rust like most of the teams have been playing their first game back, but not the case tonight for Dallas.
Yeah, actually, the Hurricanes were pretty sharp for the most part in Buffalo, but a ton of rust in controllable areas tonight. And Dallas has taken advantage. Ben, who, by the way, roomed with Rick Nash in Sochi.
The road trip moves on to Los Angeles on Saturday afternoon. Jordan Staal turns, backhands one through the goal crease. It's played here by Tyler Seguin and back out to center. Andre Sekera peppered a bit by Val Nichushkin, and getting to it, here's Tuomo Ruutu in the Dallas zone. His shot easily blocked by Alex Goligoski and sent out of play.
And this is the first time since April 10th, 2010, in the span of 272 games. The Hurricanes, was that a game we did against Boston? Was that the last game of the year? It was the same power play.
Same shift, yeah.
And of course, the Hurricanes have been stellar in the category this season of creating shorthanded goals. It's been by far the best element of an otherwise tough year in the special teams department.
Puck is sent out of play here, and we'll see it's on a deflection, so no penalty. A face-off in the Dallas zone. Jeff Skinner doesn't like it.
Skinner had that one-on-one move on Gonchar in the second period, but hockey's an all-around game. Remember, again, it's Skinner getting mesmerized by the puck on Dillon that led to the first of those two shorthanded goals. Had he played the body, probably would have been okay. They may end up calling a penalty here, and this is where referees can work together and linesmen have an equal say in calls like this.
That's exactly what they did. Steve Kozzari will make the call, and they will send off Vernon Fiddler. As he comes over to say it's Jordy Benn. Benn will get the penalty. Fiddler came over to lobby the official, and now Benn will take a seat, and Carolina gets a power play to start this period.
Excellent job by the referees getting together. Might have been Jay Shares there right side of your screen that makes the call. Yes, I think it was the back official. Kozzari was right in a pretty good spot, and so Jordy Benn in the box. He played Junior A Tier 2 for the Victoria Salsa.
Salsa?
That's what the team was called, the Victoria Salsa.
Okay, it's creative. Not as good as the Macon Whoopie, but close.
Well, I don't know if it was a hot or mild or what type of temperature type club that particular year in Victoria.
It varies, depending on how the team was going at the time. You know that. Off the draw now, Ruutu in control. Lays it back for Lyles. Delays, sends it along for Lindholm and gets it back. Elias Lindholm from the board. Sweep check by Trevor Daley. Back again for Lyles. He'll look it over. Tuomo Ruutu for Lindholm. Lindholm in control. His shot off a body wide. It was blocked by Trevor Daley. Saucer pass. Ruutu to Lyles. Lyles to Lindholm. Here it comes. Denied by Lehtinen and broken up by Trevor Daley and sent out.
Down 3-0, I know, but Ruutu and Lindholm have had some pretty good salsa and zip to this power play.
Lindholm in control. Bertolucci, his shot is blocked by Goligoski. Had it, lost it. Elias Lindholm to the outside. John Michael Lyles, his bid blocked. It was tipped on the way through by Tuomo Ruutu. Ruutu out of the corner, pressured by Goligoski. It's loose. Swept out of the zone by Cody Eakin.
There's more motion in this power play than there has been on a lot of nights.
Eakin just completely outmuscles John Michael Lyles, gets to a loose puck. Now the Hurricanes will start back out to center ice. Jeff Skinner will scale it ahead.
And remember, Kirk Muller had a conversation with John Michael Lyles looking for more conviction, more of a quarterbacking leadership role to the power play. That's one of the biggest reasons he was acquired from the Toronto Maple Leafs.
2 minutes gone in period 3. 40 seconds left in the power play. Carolina down by 3. Here's Falk. There's the shot. Lettinen got a piece. Loose in back of the goal. Jordan this way for Jeff Skinner. Skinner from the boards away from Jamie Benn. Back it goes Sekera. Sekera holding on to it. Top of the ring now. Skinner in control. His shot sealed off by Lettinen. Loose out in front. Justin Falk back against Sekera. His bid well wide. Lettinen has lost his stick. Getting to it now is Justin Falk. Diagonally across. Andre Sekera holding on to it. His shot is blocked by Jamie Benn, and it goes on to play.
It's a results business, and I'm aware of that. And the power play has not had the results this year. These have been good-looking power plays for Carolina tonight. Look at that screen from Jordan Staal. He's out to the side. He's using that big frame, and that makes that Skinner offering from against the boards, essentially, a difficult save. Ruutu, motion. Lindholm, motion. Pretty good puck movement. Sekera is doing the best job of anybody up top of getting to the middle of the ice where the options become available.
Eric Staal wins it back. Puck is on edge, wide. Shot taken by Sekera. Now getting to it is Tuomo Ruutu, getting a little bit of help that time. It was took out by Tulosti. Now Sekera, turning stick of Jiri Tulosti, down deep. Eric out, and they score! Off the body of Kari Lettinen from an impossible angle that becomes possible for Eric Staal. And the Canes are on the scoreboard.
I'm in the minority with the way goalies play in 2014. But I do not know why goalies don't square up when pucks are along the goal line. Remember the goal earlier this year, I think it was in Toronto, that Cam Ward gave up. I had a long talk with Justin Peters. Goalies just do not square up. Henrik Lundqvist gave up one to Olli Jokinen in Finland in the Olympics, right before Lettinen gave up 2 to eventually lose the game, where they do not square up. Why can't you square up? You know why they don't, John, is because they want to get a head start on the pass, which is technically not their job. And I just don't get it. I think you should square up. Eric Staal, who knows what that goal could mean by keeping the goaltender honest, and the Hurricanes have won.
2 seconds after the power play had expired, so officially an even strength goal. Eric Staal, his second goal in as many games, 16 goals now on the season. Tulosti will get 1 assist on the play. Now John Michael Lyles in control over the line. He pulls up. A good pass here for Nathan Gerbe. Fought off by Lettinen as Nash tried to careen it off his backside, and it's punched along by John Michael Lyles. Nathan Gerbe for Carolina, broken up by Kevin Connaughton, who tries to clear, and he will.
Do we have another New Year's Eve? 3-0 going into the third period for the Montreal Canadiens. Just had to get that first one. We'll see.
Andre Sekera gets the other assist on the goal by Eric Staal. He's just a point a game now in 38 straight games. He's had 38 scoring points. Out to center ice, Lyles played off the boards, and it comes all the way back.
And he's been defensively pretty good, too. I mean, you've seen his plus-minus rating get better and better, which to me is equally as important.
Lettinen now will let it go. Jordy Benn in control, tries to move it by Tulosti. Played along the boards now. And loose out in front. Brendan Dillon had control. It's turned by Horkoff away from Elias Lindholm. Now Dillon out of the corner, moves it by Skinner. Played here by Ray Whitney. At the point, Tulosti inside for Skinner. He'll delay. Pull up for a shot. Through a maze. It's blocked on the way through by Dillon. Harrison forces chase on, and now it's played here by Sean Horkoff. Jordy Benn over the line. Here's Ray Whitney pulling up. Shot taken off the stick. Went off Belmore, goes astray, and now at the point, chase on. Inside it goes for Jordy Benn. He took a hit to make a play, and now Ray Whitney back again for Dillon. His shot is blocked by Jiri Tulosti. Elias Lindholm in control and back out.
Tulosti's had a couple of big blocks. Remember that one that stung him up high in the first period? See, to me, he has that ability. He's not scoring like he was last year. That's unfortunate. But he does have the ability to bring other things to the table when he's not scoring.
Falk in control. He'll wipe it ahead. Lettinen will leave it there for Goligoski. Alex Goligoski swings it back for Brendan Dillon. Dillon in tight quarters, forechecked. Carolina gets to it. A man goes down. It was Ruutu, no call, and now it's Eric Cole. Cole over the line, busts in the zone, shifting on Falk. Eric Cole goes to work, leaves it there to the corner. Rich Peverly back to the point. Alex Goligoski. He'll wrist it off the boards, looking for a tip. Getting to the top of your screen is Eric Staal, and back out. Off the stick of Jordan, it comes all the way back. Jordan Staal goes to work on Goligoski. Getting to it is the Stars' Cody Eakin. Eakin in control and back out. Antoine Roussel walks in for a chance. Right into Hudobin. And Hainsey goes hard at Antoine Roussel. you have to. As he steamrolled Anton Hudobin, Ron Hainsey sticks up for his goaltender and pummels away at Antoine Roussel.
Absolutely inexcusable play on the part of Roussel. If a player has a lane, he has the right to go to the net and make a play. But he did not make a play. He barreled right into Anton Hudobin. And good for Ron Hainsey. I think goaltenders at times are protected too much. Because if a player works hard with speed and work ethic to create that breakaway opportunity, he should be able to drive the net to make a play. But we're going to get a look at this replay. And to me, he just barreled right into Hudobin. I don't think there's any room for this. See, watch, he comes in here. He doesn't try to make a play. He might make an argument he's off balance, but you've got to at least try to make a play here.
Yeah, no doubt.
And there is just no concern or respect on the part of Roussel, who did so much in the way of a hard straight line work ethic to create this chance. And good for Ron Hainsey. I like Roussel as a player. I do not like that moment. It certainly does not speak well, hopefully, and it seems Hudobin's okay.
Well, you have to make an attempt, at least an attempt to stop or avoid the goaltender, which he did not. And if you look at that closely, it almost looks like he threw an elbow.
It does.
In the process. So we'll see how the officials will handle this. And if players don't stand up for your goalie in that situation, you've got an issue with your team. So good to see Ron Hainsey do that. We saw that Roussel was injured after that altercation. And we're going to step aside, sort it out, and tell you about it when we come back. 14:24 left to go in this third period. Interesting developments here in Dallas. 3-1 Stars. Well, the good news, Anton Hudobin is okay. A chain reaction of events. It starts with this play by Antoine Roussel.
I don't think Lyles pushes him in at all. I think goalies at times are protected too much because a player should be able to try to make a move. But does he make any attempt to make a move? Not one. He actually seems at the last second to relish the opportunity to have the collision. And Hainsey does what you want a teammate to do. It's his first fight as a Hurricane. It's totally out of character. Good for Ron Hainsey. And good for the referees, too, by the way, calling 5 minutes for charging, John, because oftentimes in interference or charging type plays, if the player is not injured, and Hudobin clearly is not, they go with the minor. The right call is the major.
I think it is a charging penalty. We'll get the word on it. 5 minutes on the board for Roussel. 2 minutes on the board. Patrick Dwyer's number is there. I believe that's instigating on Ron Hainsey. We'll get the 2, the 5, the 10 that goes along with that, but we will get official word on it. And in under 2 minutes, Carolina will get a 3-minute power play. Eric Cole back out to center ice. Here's Cody Eakin. Eakin over the line holding onto it. And a delayed whistle, a penalty upcoming here against Carolina. Trevor Daley coming all the way back. Kari Lettinen is on the bench. The extra skater is out for Lindy Ruff. Tyler Seguin will get to it. We're moving along for Daley, and here they come. Trevor Daley over the line. Walks in the zone, turns away from Lyles, sets up Cole. Eric Cole in control of that puck. Now Eakin. His shot goes wide. Brendan Dillon at the point. We'll backpedal out. Going to start a play again.
Boy, just because it's a delayed sequence, it doesn't mean it's automatic that Dallas isn't going to score. I mean, that was a heck of a chance.
Tyler Seguin. Trevor Daley. Eakin now, and they call that possession. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a break for Carolina. And the Hurricanes just sagged and relaxed during the whole time period after Ruutu was guilty of the high stick that will even things up.
We're going to step aside again. 13:20 left to go in this third period from Big D. Bodies in the penalty box. Tuomo Ruutu now will join Pat Dwyer, who's serving a penalty. We'll see the high stick here.
There it is right there, Golgovsky. Ruutu has actually had a lot of jam to his game. Hey, John, that by my count is the 4th stick infraction penalty of this game for the Carolina Hurricanes. And that's not a good thing to have.
Okay, so we do have the interpretation. We had it right. Roussel, 5-minute major charging, fighting penalty, game misconduct. Hainsey, 2 for instigating, 5 for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. Those all at 5:36. Jamie Benn inside. It goes off a body off Belmore. Broken up by Malhotra. He'll move it out. This is a 4-on-3 power play for Dallas.
Belmore did a nice job of playing that puck with his hand, but not covering that puck even for a split second, which would have been another penalty.
Goligoski in the zone, walks in, he'll circle. Hold on to that puck. Andre Sekera on him. Here he comes. Sekera now moves down the wall on Seguin, keeps it deep. Jamie Benn reverses, and getting to it is Alex Goligoski, and out they come. Out of the reach of Tyler Seguin and wiped along by Justin Falk.
Dallas coach Lindy Ruff coached Sekera and Gerby for many years in Buffalo. He raved about Sekera this morning and the fact that they got a chance to chat during the Olympic Games in Sochi.
Cody Eakin moves it back. Jamie Benn now in the center zone. Dwyer's out of the box. 12:18 left to go in this third period. Jordan Staal with a shot off the stick of Sergei Gonchar, and it goes out of play.
Let's take a look at Belmore. This 4-on-3, if the Canes are going to have a chance, they've got to get through it. Now watch Belmore go down. You don't want to go down unless you're pretty sure that it's the right thing to do. Now, oh, the referee was in a good spot there left of your screen to see that he played it with his hand, but didn't cover it with his hand for any period of time.
4-on-4 now for 53 seconds. Then Carolina will get power play time. Thwarted slightly by the call against Tuomo Ruutu. Off the draw, Eric Cole. Sealed off a bit by Falk. Drop pass for Harrison. Nathan Gerby moves it by Gonchar, who recovers. Everly along the boards, broken up by Riley Nash. Nash with a shot, sealed off by Kari Lettinen, and he's run into.
I don't know if Harrison was pushed or not. 4-on-4 hockey, down a couple of goals. Good time for Harrison to jump, and a good time for Riley Nash to challenge the short side after a goal already went in from a sharp angle.
Coors Light Canes Corner at the Backyard Bistro. The next one will be on March the 6th at 7 p.m. The special guest is Justin Falk. You can listen in on 99.9 The Fan, or better yet, get to the Bistro right across the street from PNC Arena.
I thought they weren't good outcomes for the United States, but I thought he did a good job when he finally got in the lineup after the Paul Martin injury. You know, he played sparingly, and you could tell he didn't want to make a mistake. What an experience that's going to be for a player with such a starlit future that Justin has.
Horkoff in control. Now Cole holding, shooting one. Good save, Hudobin. All the way back up top, Gillen with a shot. As Cole was taken down in front, I believe, by Anton Hudobin. He takes a run at Justin Falk. Now Jordy Benn to the outside, but Eric Cole was trapped offside, and we get a stoppage.
I can tell you right now, having been a goalie, when you start, especially a smaller goalie, and unfortunately I was that, when you start engaging yourself with attacking players, every time I did that, I got scored on about a shift later. Artur Zerbe used to do that. Whenever Artur Zerbe did it, he got scored on a shift later. Kari Lettinen at the other end is a very cool, calm goalie. Anton has played great hockey for this team. Don't worry about Eric Cole there. Just worry about playing your game.
Now Garvin and Talusti, and penalties will be called here off the faceoff.
And I always thought about it like, what are you going to accomplish by giving Eric Cole a jab? Are you going to hurt him? No. But you're going to show him that you're rattled. And one thing, John, cross-conference game, first time these two teams have seen each other this year. I'm sure a lot of Hurricanes fans were asking, where was this rugged nature, this team toughness in the first period? It's been good to see here in the third. Hopefully it's not too late, and anytime you have coincidental penalties and you have less than 5-on-5 situations, it creates more ice for Carolina, which is a good thing to try to come back.
Ruutu has 13 seconds left. Right off the face-off, Jamie Benn broken up, and now Lyles back in his own zone. John Michael Lyles.
16 Ryan Garbutt, 2 minutes on sportsmanlike conduct.
Sportsmanlike conduct penalties to Ryan Garbutt of Dallas and Yuri Talusti of Carolina. A loose puck for Cody Eakin. Open space. It comes all the way down to Anton Hudobin. Canes are at the Los Angeles Kings on Saturday afternoon. We're back on Sports South for that one, starting at 3:30 with Hurricanes live from Staples Center. Now Eric Staal with a shot, kicked out with a purpose by Kari Lettinen. Elias Lindholm, second crack at it, back to the point. Lyles this way for Ruutu. Over skating. Fiddler In control, Lyles gets across. As we see, will peel back in his own end. Long pass for Eric Stahl. He has Carolina's goal tonight. Eakin, Jamie Benn, holding, shooting one. Good save, Hudobin. Ruutu now pokes it to an open corner. Lindholm in control, and out they come.
Soft hands from Ben. Ruutu, unfortunately, a bit of concrete, which he has not had lately because he's playing very confident hockey. Ben, the soft hands to make that move as a big-bodied player.
Power play for Carolina. See the time left in it. Hudobin leaves it for Andrej Sekera. He'll start from his own zone. A lead pass, Justin Falk. Over the line, Skinner. His shot goes off the end wall, and it comes all the way back in the Carolina zone. Hudobin now will put it on a tee for Sekera. 35 seconds left in this Carolina power play as they start again. Jordan Stahl moving up on Horcoff. He's taken down, and that allows Alex Goligoski a chance to float it out.
Both teams maybe getting away with a little bit of stick work, and Horcoff from Edmonton, a captain, brings a veteran impact to this young team like Whitney and Cole do. Horcoff, he was a member of that Edmonton team in 2006, wasn't he?
He was a very important piece of that team now. Goes off the stick of Riley Nash. Haley going down. 5 seconds left in the power play. Goligoski goes hard at Manny Malhotra, and it comes all the way back to Hudobin once again.
I guess it would be fitting that Horcoff plays for Dallas with their colors, because once upon a time, like Rod Brindamore, he was a Michigan State Spartan.
Yes. They call this Victory Green. New uniforms this season for the Dallas Stars. Now, Jordy Benn taken care of by Nathan Gerby. Belmore in the center zone plays it along for Gerby, who gets it deep. Lettman will slow it down. Under 9 minutes left in this third period. 3-1 Dallas. Wire along the boards. Nathan Gerby with a shot easily detected by Kari Lettman. Back of the goal now. Gerby attempts to dig it out. Broken up by Tyler Seguin. He'll leave it there. Harrison's up on the play. Jay Harrison moves it. Broken up by Seguin. And away they go. Ray Whitney encumbers Tyler Seguin. Jordan Stahl coming back for Carolina. Looking for Harrison. The Stahl combination there with Harrison didn't work. It comes back out to center ice. Jordan Stahl lays it along one more time. Dallas has to be careful in the process of a change. Here's Eric. His shot. Lettman got a piece of it, and possibly the man out in front. That was Kevin Connaughton as they jam along the boards.
What a save. Using the defenseman as a screen, and Eric Stahl elevated that puck because Lettman's pads have been so good low. That was a heck of a stop.
Tuomo Ruutu. Across it goes. Here's Lyles. His shot goes high on a tip. Getting to it is Eric Cole. Broken up by Riley Nash. Back to the point. Lyles. Here it comes. Locked in front. A bevy of humanity. It's dug out. And away they go. 3-on-2. Cole with Eakin as they cross the line. Shot taken by Beverly, denied. What a save by Anton Hudobin. 7:44 left to go in this third period. Eric Stahl has Carolina's goal tonight. He almost has his second right here. Good save by Lettman.
Back in the third, and we see Jay Harrison. Going on the road with a family at home is never easy, but Jay Harrison has a cool way to lend a helping hand and help out with the kids when the Canes are on the road. His daughter Presley is 6, and she takes violin lessons with an instructor. But when Jay's on the road, he brings his violin along and practices with his daughter via Skype. Right now, they're working on Ode to Joy and a Sailor song. What a great way to connect, don't you think, Tripp?
Well, it's definitely a way to connect. And it shows the many different fronts to Jay Harrison, because he broke into the league by being a very rugged, stand-up-for-your-teammates, enforcer-type guy, earning his way to where he's at in the league. And this is a man's game, but he still has that versatility, that he enjoys those musical string instruments. I don't know a lot about him. I think he plays the cello, too, and I know that's a very tough instrument to learn, and I don't have a clue how.
And as we have said, Jay Harrison is the Hurricanes' renaissance man. A variety of interests and opinions. Now, Sekera, broken up. Nichushkin out in front. Forked wide. Hudobin got a piece of it. Another chance. Oh, Hudobin leashing out on Tyler Seguin.
What a save. He made the snare on the way to break. That was an absolutely awesome, challenging save with the stick.
Now Talusti. Moves it by Nichushkin. Loose this way for Jeff Skinner. Skinner tries to make a move on Jamie Benn. He cuts. Lost control. Now back to the point. Lyles has it, and he'll just pitch it to an open corner. And Brendan Dillon is back on it. Along the boards. Nichushkin Lyles coming back for Carolina. Valerie Nichushkin on him. Good play by Lyles, and out he goes. John Michael Lyles hits the line. 3 defenders there. Dwyer's offside, and we get a stoppage.
Anton Khudobin has been beaten 3 times, but he, after a bit of a shaky start like the rest of the team, has been great. What a save. Look at him. Look at that. When I say look at it, a lot of times goalies don't watch the puck into their glove, or in this case, into the blocker side. That's a goalie. That looked like a guy by the name of Grant Fuhr attacking that puck.
Puck deflects back off the faceoff. Cody Eakin. Cole gets to it. His shot stopped by Khudobin. And just leaking wide. Peverley overskating that rebound opportunity. Another great save from Khudobin. And it comes all the way back in the Dallas zone. Kari Lehtinen for Alex Goligoski. Lehtinen was taken down. A penalty against Carolina. Eric Cole lumbers in the zone, throws it across in the skates of Cody Eakin. And Dallas now will get to a power play.
Kari Lehtinen is as calm as they get. I talked to Ruutu about it before the game. He said, you know, he had to play in the semifinals, and he said nothing gets to this guy. That's what they always said about the fellow Finn, Mika Kiprusoff. And as the things have started to get animated here in the third period, whether it be traffic or going out to play the puck, he goes down, he draws the call, and I think it's the right kind of composure. Jordan Staal, that's another stick infraction. But by the way, Ron Hainsey is in the box because his 2-minute instigator, 5-minute major, and 10-minute misconduct, if the Canes come back, would expire halfway through overtime.
Jordan Staal gets the penalty for taking down the Dallas goaltender, and off the faceoff now out of the corner, Belmore. Given a shove by Tyler Seguin. Jamie Benn in control. The pass, an errant one. It goes through the 2-point men, Eric Cole and Alex Goligoski, and all the way back.
I mentioned that, John, because Hainsey had gone to the dressing room and came out during the last commercial break in the event the Hurricanes come back. Because there's not another commercial break, there'd be no other time for him to get to the box, so he wouldn't be able to be eligible.
Here's center ice now. Jason will give it all the way back. So a tough time for Dallas getting started with this power play. Jamie Benn now will lug it out. At the line they cross. Jason down the boards. In the slot, good stick by Nathan Gerby. Tyler Seguin. Sergei Gonchar. Across it goes for Jamie Benn off a couple of skates. Seguin has it. Here it comes. Denied by Khudobin. Knocked out of midair with a high stick by Carolina. Now play will continue as the Stars have it. Nichushkin over the line, goes wide. Now Nichushkin with a shot tipped high by Justin Falk. Cody Eakin inside for Nichushkin, tied up. It goes deep. Nichushkin hunts it down. Broken up by Andrej Sekera. And away they go.
Hey, Khudobin continues to fight. He's playing big. By the way, our fine director, Mike Lavalamp-Ross, said that I guess Hainsey could have gone from the locker room across the ice to the penalty box between regulation and overtime.
Now a drop pass. Eakin with a shot well high over Khudobin, and again back out. As Dallas is down to 15 seconds with a power play. Here they come. Whitney. His pass intended for Val Nichushkin, and back out. Heading to it is Gonchar. Pressuring him is Carolina's Riley Nash with a slash. Ill-advised penalty for Riley Nash. Slashing the call on him. Carolina down a man again.
6th stick infraction in this game. And as we see 2 members on the other side that were key parts of the team that won the Cup in 2006, the Hurricanes, anytime they committed a stick infraction that year in practice, they had to do push-ups, and a lot of them. And what that does is it creates a penalty. Now, it could have been interference for Gonchar, no doubt about it. And then you see the slashing motion. That should have been interference, no doubt about it, but it doesn't matter. You have to keep going about your shift with work and not be frustrated, and the Hurricanes have a crowded box this period.
Now turning with it is Tyler Seguin. Seguin in control all the way across. Jordan Staal's out of the box. 5-on-4 conventional power play for Dallas. Manny Malhotra moves up, the former Star. His shot swallowed by Kari Lehtinen.
John, the Storm Tracker.
Okay.
Power play production. It's been the Achilles heel all year. Not only, unfortunately, has it not worked tonight, but it's also given up a couple shorthanded tallies. Skinner has not built on his 7-shot performance to try to get back scoring goals in the neutral zone. The Dallas Stars have had the edge. You look at the power play, 0 for 5, and 2 shorthanded goals allowed. And that, unfortunately, has been a category that's been a tough one all season. Not the shorthanded goals allowed, but the power play for Carolina.
Ray Whitney now. Hurricanes are 0 for 10 since the break. 0 for 5 in Buffalo on Tuesday night. Now Falk back out. Held in by Gonchar. Played along here by Nichushkin. Val Nichushkin holding on to that puck now. Guarded by Jordan Staal. Gonchar. Here it comes. Stopped by Hudobin. Whitney. Hudobin! What a save on Ray Whitney.
Unbelievable. I mean, he has made 3 or 4 highlight reel saves since the collision with Chason earlier in this period. Boy, oh boy, he's shown some fight.
Nichushkin. Whitney holding on to that puck. Cody Eakin with a shot blocked. A good block it was. As coming out at him was Yuri Talusti, and it comes all the way back.
I apologize, Roussel not chasing that collision that led to the major penalty as he drove in on Anton Hudobin.
Now it's played here by Sagan. Swung along by Horkoff, carried by Trevor Daley. Drop pass for Tyler Sagan. Now Goligoski right on, denied by Hudobin. Off sticks on the way through, and it comes all the way back.
That caught him in the mask. That mask has had to be a real defense mechanism 3 or 4 times in this game. Shots and guys barreling in.
Elias Lindholm has control of the puck. A good play for Harrison. He gets it back. Lindholm with a shot blocked by Goligoski. He gets after it again. He's had a good game, Elias Lindholm, and hopefully he can build on that.
Yeah, I watched him closely in practice yesterday, and I thought he was one of the Hurricanes' best players. And as I said earlier in the game, he actually had some goal-scoring ability, and then again this morning.
Along the boards, Cole. Jamie Benn. 2-on-2. Penalty has concluded. Moving in Jordy. Jordy Benn holding. Out in front. One pass too many. It comes all the way back in the Dallas zone.
Well, what hasn't Jamie Benn done tonight? I guess feed his brother for a goal. That'd be the only thing on the checklist. And I think actually Hudobin got a piece of that coming across.
Carolina in danger of losing 3 in a row now. Here's Fiddler. And white tie by Alex Chason. Brendan Dillon goes in deep. Chason along the boards, tries to move it on a cycle. He'll stop and start on John Michael Lyles. Young Chason is given a shove by Lyles. Loose along the boards, Ryan Garbutt. Broken up. Taluski has it for Carolina. And out they come, Andrej Sekera. Bounces one in on Kari Lehtinen.
Very impressed with the straight line hockey that Dallas plays. That's what makes teams look fast.
Justin Falk now scales it wide. Lindholm out of the corner. Talusti, Hudobin to the bench. 6 skaters out for Carolina. $1:20 on the clock. A block. Ryan Garbutt attempts to play it to himself. And Justin Falk, Jay Harrison get back. In the center zone, Dallas is changing. Jordan Staal gets it deep. 67 seconds left here at American Airlines Center. Dallas will be in Raleigh on April 3rd. Loose puck, an empty net. Cody Eakin with Whitney. He hits the target, and the Dallas Stars will salt this one away.
John, I'm not sure that John Michael Lyles was aware of the fact the net was empty. Because Cody Eakin, watch here, now Cody Eakin's got the puck and he plays it like it's an odd man rush during the game. And then I think he realized it. That's unfortunate. And Cody Eakin, a guy that just embodies work ethic, is able to score the goal. And to me, the Dallas Stars have shown me a lot in the first time we've seen them this year. They play a game that is built from their own net first. They play a hard game. They got off to a good start, trying to start the break. After the break, after they finished so strong, and they had those 2 big first period goals.
They started the night 1 point out of a wild card in the West, and they will continue to make that climb. It's difficult. Carolina, they are digging a big hole right now in terms of the wild card and the final playoff spot in the Metropolitan Division. Sergei Gonchar through the middle. Canes will go to Los Angeles on Saturday as that puck is fair caught by Hudobin. He drops it. Play will continue. 18 seconds left here in Dallas. Puck is sent wide as Cody Eakin scores his 13th goal of the season from Sean Horkoff and Alex Goligoski. Riley Nash through the middle. So that'll do it here at American Airlines Center. A complete effort by the Dallas Stars as they surround Kari Lehtonen. They defeat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1.
Special teams, usually an indicator of who wins on most nights. Dallas, with their 2 shorthanded tallies, won that dimension. The neutral zone, one of our game keys. Dallas won that dimension, I think, by really more than anything else, bearing down on pucks and playing a north-south game. And they just had the intensity factor on their side. Seguin scores the first goal of the game. Ben was just terrific, the all-around captain and gold medalist that he is. Kari Lehtonen did his part. But really, the only reason this thing was really even there in Carolina's grasp, if you want to say that in the third period, is because Anton Khudobin never gave up on this game. And former Hurricane Ray Whitney, Eric Cole, and the Stars win a big game to get back in the playoff picture in the West.
Final count, the Dallas Stars 4 and the Carolina Hurricanes 1. Dallas Stars playing their first game since the Olympic break, showing no rust whatsoever. And for the Hurricanes, lots of work to do in the ensuing games in this 5-game road swing. We will have post-game coverage from American Airlines Center after the break as we deliver Hurricanes Live. It belongs to the Lone Star, the state of Texas tonight, 4-1. We're back with Hurricanes Live after this.